So the power did not go out. The BIOS is fine. Don't worry. We have Windows. I know all of you. I know you guys think you're very clever. No, the power went out. Case closed. Don't update your BIOS. No, I don't know what that was, honestly. So what I did notice was it was OBS froze, and it froze as soon as this PC rebooted, which means I think there's something weird going on with the capture card. You know, this is our first time ever streaming an HDMI capture from an extra device like this. So we will see if that happens again, because I mean I have to reboot the device right now, so we can enable XMP. The BIOS update worked. That one's good to go. The driver update is done. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna try to do that again. Only one RAM lit up now. I think I need to rebuild. I think I have to rebuild. I have to do actually a sponsored video, a sponsored vertical, upgrading this PC, ironically enough. And after I upgrade it, I think I'm gonna trash it. We're just having all these issues. I don't know. PC Addict with the 10 biddies says, Zach, if you're reading this and don't already know, the stream is dead. Thank you, PC Addict. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, let's try this again. All right, so this was looking like HDMI capture, still good to go. PC is working. Let's get some task manager just to make sure that we didn't get lucky. Yeah, so XMP is not enabled. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to reboot this again. And hopefully this doesn't mess up our capture settings, but we're going to give it a go. And we're going to enable XMP before we do anything else on this build. If the stream does go out again, I'm not going to go live, just so you guys know. I'm not going to turn the stream back on, because I don't know what the issue is. All right, here we go. XMP. Enter. Profile 1. 3600 megahertz. That's good to go. Quit without saving. No. We want to save and exit. Por favor. Yes. Hopefully that boots. Thanks for the warning. Yeah. If the stream goes down again, don't stick around. I'm just gonna call it. But hopefully we don't have another issue. But there's a very real chance that we do, because the computer flips out whenever we're switching all these HDMI inputs. Change the boot up logo to American Megatrends. All right. Okay, so let's switch over here one more time. Real quick. We don't need that. Okay, let's make sure our XMP settings are here. Performance. Boom. We have 3600 megahertz running. We are good to go. Okay, so we have the GPU drivers installed. We have XMP enabled. And we now have an updated BIOS. So let's take a quick look at temperatures. Make sure, I mean, we have an open air setup right here, but let's, yep, thank you, making progress. Let's make sure that nothing is going absolutely crazy here with our CPU at 50. I mean, that's certainly not good. Oh, okay, that was just spiking for whatever reason. Our GPU is at 33. That's perfectly fine. Okay. All right, well, that doesn't look terrible. All right, well, let's fire up some 3D Mark. Let's do that. We'll do some 3D Mark Time Spy first. Make sure our score checks out. Zach, how can you check how many tickets you have? You actually can't. It's the one single limitation of Streamlabs that's almost caused me to move the giveaway. The only way you can tell is if you buy another ticket. So if you type in !raffle space 1 to buy one more ticket, it'll tell you how many total tickets you have. But you have to have 100 more points to do that. So unfortunately, there's just no way. I even tried to custom code my own command so you can tell how many tickets you currently have. And they don't even have a variable set up for currently owned tickets. It is very annoying. That's dumb. Yeah, it's very dumb. I don't understand why they would do that. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling dumb. Ask ChatGPT. That could help. That could help. All right, so what type of score are we thinking for a Ryzen 5 3600 and a GTX 1080? Any score, any total time spy score guesses? I don't want to, I have a guess, but I don't want to steer you guys. I want to see what you guys come up with first. Who knows time spy scores off the top of their head? A Z with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. Let's go. Thinking around 8K? I was literally thinking that. 4 to 5K, 9.4K, 9K, 12K. That's not going to be 12K. 8K. I think it's going to be 8 to 9K would be my guess. 8250. Yeah, we're going to be in the 8 to 9K range, I think. Because it's... The 1080 is about at RTX 3060 8GB levels. So the worst of the 3060s. And then the 3600, you know, 8 to 10K probably. 8500, 8600, 8854. Did you guys look this up? Or are you just guessing now that I gave my range? What's 3D Mark? Well, you're about to find out. 3D Mark is the gamer's benchmark, as you can see. It's a complete suite of different benchmarks. And Time Spy is one of the more popular ones. Another one that's popular these days is Port Royal. This is a ray tracing benchmark, but basically it's going to show us some really nice graphics, and it's going to stress test both the CPU and the GPU. And I'm not concerned about the score. Like you don't really advertise that score to buyers. Most people aren't interested in that. I'm interested in it because we run Time Spy on every single PC that goes through the ZTT HQ. That way we can tell, like, compare builds like, oh, compared to Flippin' Friday Season 1, this build's better, this build's worse, or whatever. But mostly, we're just looking for stability. As it runs through the CPU tests, as it runs through the GPU tests, we're just making sure that it has stability. D-Man just received 23 giveaway tickets. Very nice. That is a good bit. I saw somebody during the last stream buy 50 tickets. One of my friends stress tested his PC and his GPU caught fire. Your friend probably shouldn't have been stress testing. Maybe he got unlucky, but that doesn't really happen too often unless if you like make a big mistake, which we're all capable of doing. 8200 normal. Did you look that up, Mark? I would believe that. So like a test run of the device without needing lots of programs, that's exactly what it does. Yeah, Time Spy specifically, I don't ever run the Extreme. I don't think anybody really runs Extreme. Like, it would be good for a high-end PC, but with high-end PCs these days, you're going to run the Port Royal test. So for any budget or any mid-range PC, most people are using Time Spy still, at least from what I've seen. No, the test isn't running. So 3D Mark was installed, but the individual benchmark Time Spy wasn't installed. I forgot to do that at the office today on this SSD. So we're just waiting for this 33% to finish installing. This is when you buy 3D Mark, I think there's different versions of 3D Mark that you can buy, but there's all sorts of different tests. Like, and it's cool because they'll make tests as like new technology comes out. Like when PCIe 4.0 was gaining a lot of popularity, I think They created like the PCIe test. You know, they have an AMD FSR test. You know, they were doing virtual reality stuff, NVIDIA's DLSS test, you know, ray tracing. It's pretty cool. Like 3D Mark, that team really like knows what they're doing, and they try to stick with it, like, or stay up to date with their product. And like when like Time Spy was the biggest, or Firestrike was the biggest one for years, but then Time Spy came out once the DirectX 12 cards started launching. And then since ray tracing became popular, or as popular as it is now, they created the Port Royal one. I haven't seen much popularity with any of the other stuff. Storage benchmark for your SSD. You know, it's definitely worth buying, and it goes on sale all the time. Like the suite goes on sale for like $5. I think the normal price is something like $30 or something, but as much as it goes on sale, you probably shouldn't pay full price for it. But once you do own a license for 3D Mark, a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually go into 3D Mark's website and download individual installers instead of having to run it through Steam. In a benchmarking hard drive, I'm just going to load it through Steam because I'm about to run all these other games on Steam. But if you want to install like 3D Mark on just like a USB drive, then you can do that as well from 3D Mark's website. That's how we quickly stress test our PCs before we ship them out the door. For ZTTbuilds.com, like we're not gonna install Steam, log in, install 3D Mark, install Time Spy every single time. We just have an a flash drive that has a few benchmarks pre-installed on there, so we can just run it real quickly. You didn't run Wildlife back in the day? No. Was that popular? Was that the one before Firestrike? Cross-platform test for mobile device? Oh no, that's for mobile. Was that a troll? Yeah, I don't know. I've only ever used Firestrike. Like before Time Spy. Firestrike was really popular. Yes, it's a troll. Okay. Thank you for wasting my time. Are we gonna have potential stream issues here? Someone said he got DC. I mean, it looks good for me right now. Is it messed up for anybody else? It's a 4K test? No, Time Spy is not 4K. They have the extreme one, which is 4K. But again, most people don't use that. So we're going to go to benchmarks here, fire up Time Spy, and then one thing you can do is just uncheck the demo because you don't really need to run that. But there we go. Now we're going to let it run, do its thing, make sure everything is stable, and we get a final score. My stream went off for 20 minutes. Well, we were down for like 5 minutes. 3D Mark 2001 was popular. It was the one with the Matrix scene. I don't know if I remember that. Maybe if I saw it, I would remember it. I'm going to download Time Spy. Yeah, this is what it looks like. So it'll tell you, I think there's like 2 graphics tests, 2 CPU tests, and then a combined test just to work its way through all the parts. Again, just ensuring stability. I don't really care about the score as long as the score, like I can tell like as soon as I see it for the most part if it's good or not, you know. But yeah, super demanding test right now. I don't know, do we have, oh yeah, there we go. So you can see the MSI Afterburner up there cranking away. This is the GPU test, so our GPU is at 100% load right now, and it's at 53 degrees. Again, we don't have the side panel installed, but you know, that, I mean, that's perfectly fine. The CPU is a little hot at 57 degrees, only at 14%. We might need to keep an eye on that. It does seem a little hot, but I don't remember. I mean, yeah, that still seems hot for a 3600. I actually have a suspicion of what that could be, but we'll see. They released one almost every year between 99 and 2010. Oh, wow. I don't think I knew that. Yeah, I mean, that's my high school days, and I was definitely not using paid benchmarking software in high school. I was benchmarking with Crysis, a pirated version of Crysis. Here's the next one, the next GPU stress test. Yeah, I have my suspicions on the CPU. We'll see what it does whenever we do the CPU section. And we can always run Cinebench here too. I was running the pirated version of the benchmarks, yeah. Crysis was the optimal GPU test back then. I mean, I remember having a PC getting 3 FPS in the Crysis menu. Like I could barely like track my mouse. Like I would move my mouse and then wait for it to see how low the mouse would go, drop it some more, like just trying to select the different menu buttons. My PC was struggling. Pirating is the way cheap people benchmark. Yeah, I mean, if any decently successful flipper is gonna spend the money on that. I mean, you don't even need 3D Mark, honestly. I use 3D Mark more for YouTube content than anything, just because I want to give you that score. Now here's the CPU test. We'll see how hot it gets. I want to give you that score because at the end of my videos, I've been referencing, like, if I release a $500 build guide and then another $500 build guide like a month later, I want to be able to reference and see how much better the time spy score is. All right, so we'll check out this CPU temp. You know, I mean, that's climbing quick. 80 degrees, 81, 83, 84, 85, 80. Yeah, I mean, that's up there. That's a little hot. We might need to take a look at that. I do have a suspicion. We'll run Cinebench after this because that CPU test isn't long enough. We'll run Cinebench and see what it does, but I should have 7.3. I thought it was going to be higher than that. You know, but it's probably going to be in range. I mean, everything with the test looks good. For the most part, I've seen that, like, for a $500 PC, if you do it right, you should get 6,000 to 7,000. For a $400 PC, you should get 5,000 to 6,000. You know, and I mean, you can just kind of quickly tell that, like, it's still pretty solid. It says the average here is 7,400 for our hardware, and then this is what the best is. This is for the world record with a 1080 and a 3600. That is with like heavy overclocking. You know, so we're definitely a little bit under. I wonder if our CPU temp has anything to do with that. But I mean, stability, you know, we're good to go. That CPU score is bringing your total down. Yeah. So let's fire up Cinebench just so we can get an accurate reading here. And we definitely do have a small temperature issue, but I think I know what it is. But we'll see. So this is Cinebench 2024, which also has a GPU benchmark in it now. I've been trying to tell as many people as possible because most people don't know it. But we're going to run the CPU test real quick. All right, so this is our CPU. I'll minimize everything else. That way we don't get distracted here. So this is our CPU, our Ryzen 5 3600. This is the total temperature right here where you can see my mouse. We're hovering at 50 degrees, which is already not good for idle. Or, I mean, we're dropping a little bit. It's going to spike up and down as the system's doing stuff. But let's run this CPU stress test real quick and see how fast and how hot it gets. We're not going to run the full 10 minutes. Yeah, so instantly up to 85, 100% utilization. Looks like it peaked at 4.2 gigahertz and now it's at 3.9, 4.0. 87 degrees. And again, this is without the side panel installed too, which makes it even a little bit more concerning. Lurk says potato chips. This is a good one to lurk. We're doing a lot of stuff right now. I should check if Benchmate has an update that includes Cinna 2024. Yeah, Cinebench 2024 is really nice because as you can see right here, there's the GPU benchmark. Yeah, we're at 89 degrees. That's a little hot. It's a little hot. It's fine, but it is hot. Hey, Zach, how do you do giveaway points? All you have to do is sit there and you earn points as you watch the stream. And then we're going to give away the PC on Thursday. But just type in ! giveaway, and that'll give you all of the information that you need. 89 degrees is our max right now. I can't wait till Mark Bench is done and public and you can just run stuff without having to be there. Yeah, but I feel like for automated benchmarking in games that like don't have benchmarking tools, like automating Fortnite and whatnot, I honestly feel like we're probably 10 years away from that being a real thing. Like if you see how slowly that type of technology develops, like you can get to 80% really quickly or 90% really quickly, but 90% benchmarking, like accuracy is not good at all. Yeah, we're dropping clocks. Yeah, we're gonna have to check this out. First but not with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. Let's go. Much appreciated. Honestly, I'm fine if I can only run the can benchmarks. Well, that doesn't really need automation. 91. We'll run it for 3 solid minutes and see where we're at. We're at 2.5 now. Time out this Mahir guy? I missed it. I don't see anything from him. I updated my BIOS, made my CPU temp max out. Yeah, I mean, that's also a potential downfall. Like, you never know if the next BIOS update has, like, a very, very weird specific bug to you. Who knows? All right, 91.1 after 3 minutes. You know, if I really cared, I would do this for 10 minutes. But I pretty much have all of the data that I need right now, indicating that let's just take a second peek at this CPU installation and see if we can clear up some temperatures real quick. Because like I said, I do have a hunch. All right, so we'll let this PC boot down, and I will show you what my hunch is.